All right. First impressions of Cabal Mobile here. I got a couple of opinions on it, and apparently a lot of other people do because there's some racism going on, but we'll get to that. So let's start. I may notice how my character looks very fancy. So, for those who played the Filipino version, I think there's also a Korean version out and maybe even a Chinese version out. This is the same Cabal Mobile that was released overseas. They're just calling it Cabal Return of Action for some reason, even though the game still comes up as Cabal Mobile. Kind of weird, but anyway. So basically, this is a direct port of Cabal Online to mobile, with some pretty significant changes, but the vast majority of the game is the same. So you might notice right away, on the right side, we have these controls over here. So essentially how it works is, you move with the little control stick on the left here, but on the right side we have target, so change target, your dash skills, which you can equip two at the same time. It's so weird because you can, I think the only other character that has an additional dash skill is Wizard, if I'm not mistaken, unless that's changed with some of the other classes, but some of the newer classes, I should say. But yeah, so you can just chain them together like that. Now your attack button, actually is an auto skill, similar to, trying to think of what game did this. There was a game that did do this. So you can see basically, so when you click your attack button, it'll go through the skills you have set up in order. Or if you delete all of them, you'll just do a basic attack. You can't actually equip basic attack by default. You can equip basic attack down here if you want. But yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. I mean, basic attack is really only used in the beginning of the game anyway. And you can see all your other skills here and stuff like that. So as you can see, I don't have any skills equipped. I'm just going to do basic attack. All right, pretty simple. But if I do equip my skills here, you will see how that will change. So now when I attack, I will start with Lightning Blast, and then I will go into Force Break. So you have two options for this, sequential and non-sequential. So sequential activation basically means that it will always go through that order no matter what. So for example, if I use Lightning Blast, and then my next attack will always be Force Break no matter what. If you turn this option off, it will go through the skills in that priority based on their cooldown. So you might have saw it used Lightning Blast, and then it used Force Break. But if Lightning Blast comes off cooldown, as you can see, now it's Lightning Blast again. So that's how that works. You can also edit this not only for your normal, but also for combo mode as well, and for your battle modes. So that's really, really cool. So it allows you to do basically easy combo mode, but there is a lot of caveats to the combo mode, and I'll actually, let's look at that right now. So what's weird is they still give you the combo skill in your special skill menu. You might have seen it here, and you can equip it on your quick bar if you want, but you can just click combo on the right side here, so you don't need to, and then you can either press a skill automatically or go through your skill chain like this. You can also dash cancel as well. So if I do combo mode, I'll show you a dash cancel. So you can still dash cancel. You'll also notice how the combo meter is a little different now than it was before. There's also a I think this was a change on the PC version too, where they made actually going a past 11 combo a lot easier. Oops, sorry, that's the map. They made going past 11 combo a lot easier, which is nice, I guess. But yeah. The one thing I did notice about the combo mode, though, is that sometimes when you're too far from an enemy and you're moving towards it, the combo will just cancel, which will require you to do dash canceling. But it is cool that you can set up your combos however you want, and you can have 4 different presets here, as you can see, that you can switch between at any time. So what would be something to do is, you know, based on how you want to do your skill chains, and you can also equip skills, as you can see in your quick bar down here. So I can, for example, go into combo mode and actually use the skills by themselves instead of going through the auto combo. Now, combo does not work in auto mode, obviously. But yeah, so that's how that works. Now, we also have your battle modes, so you can just equip this or tap this to access your aura and battle modes. Now, for whatever reason in the beta, they gave us all the battle modes 10 levels early. I don't know why. So it defaulted everybody to Earth Aura. And as you can see, I got battle mode 1 at level 20, even though you're supposed to unlock it at 30. So that's a little weird, but yeah, that's pretty much the same. So at the bottom of the screen, you might see auto. So the biggest difference between the PC version and the mobile version is obviously auto combat. So if I click on auto here, I will immediately start auto attacking as well as auto picking up items. And you have some pretty decent control over how you want to do this. So if you go into a battle here, you can see how far you go, what monsters you want to put priority on, auto HP. Here's your auto loot. So basically any item that you want to automatically loot. There's a couple caveats to auto, though. Firstly, obviously, it will not use combo. And secondly, it also will not use dash. So it's made kind of for just average AFK farming in the late game. It's not, and for auto questing, for leveling and stuff like that, it's not really used for dungeoning and for actually getting off damage and like PvP and stuff like that. PvP will still very much be heavily orchestrated by how you set up your combos and everything like that, similar to how it is on PC. So there's going to be a decent amount of manual input required for it, which is where I think PC players playing on emulator are going to have an advantage. But there's more advantage I think people will have, and we'll get to that later. Turn up the volume a little bit. I had it kind of low because the volume in this game is very loud, and I wanted to just talk about the game. So we kind of already looked at the skill menu. It's pretty much exactly the same as it was. Skill ranks and everything is still the same. Using skill points to level skills, using money to get rid of skills, stuff like that. That's all virtually the same. They have a separate menu now for upgrading, pet options, you know, skill option scrolls and stuff like that. So there's just a separate option for that. A separate menu for that, rather. This merit thing, which I don't know what this is. So this is a system at 170 plus. I don't know when this was added. I know this is in the PC version too. I just don't remember it. Mercenaries and pets here, as you can see, and a bunch of other systems that have been added into later versions of the game. So yeah, it's got everything here, right? You got your dungeons here, which also shows you what entry items you need, the levels, what class rank you need to be. And you can also, I believe, from this, you might be able to set up parties as well and do matching and stuff, so that's awesome. Crafting, collection, right? There's this, like, special gift box things. These are basically just, like, I think these are just daily login stuff, if I'm not mistaken. I think these reset every day. And then once you open a certain amount of them, you get a special box over here. Not really much else to say about that. It's just kind of a mobile AFK thing, right? I mean, yeah, everything else is pretty much the same. There is PK, same as the PC version. Stat system, same as the PC version. Very interesting to see a mobile game have stat distribution, actually. Again, pretty much the same as the PC version. You can see all your stats here and everything like that. They added so many stats in CABAL and later updates. It's kind of nuts, but yeah, you can see all your stats here. On the top left, you'll also see the game gives you a quick rundown of your attack and defense ratings. Since, Cabal doesn't have like a CP system, that's kind of what they wanted to do with it. It just kind of gives you a quick estimate of how strong your character is. But it's nothing really major. Okay, so inventory. Inventory is pretty much the same. It's literally just a direct port of Cabal Mobile and of Cabal PC, and the controls are really good. With the auto combat and everything, like, it doesn't really bother me that much, especially since, if you played Cabal on PC, you know very much so that using skills outside of combo is very, very slow and also not very strong. So it's going to come down a lot to, especially in PvP, manual combo setups and everything, which I think should be really, really fun. I'm not as big of a fan of later versions of Cabal as I am with older ones, and I think that's where there was a decent amount of complaints about the game, but, like, I'm just kind of like, whatever. Okay, so yeah, all the systems are pretty much the same as they are in the PC version, which is great. But there are... So let's start looking at the differences here. So I already mentioned auto combat, right? So that's already one of the biggest differences. But the other one is the auto questing. Now, the auto questing is... I don't really know what they were thinking. So essentially what you get in auto questing is teleporting to everything, which means that, the famous starting maps and leveling maps are all kind of just throwaway because you'd never have to travel them. Because as you can see, if I start this quest here, I'm just going to warp to the location, and it's going to just go through all the dialogue for me. You don't get a chance to really go through the story. Not that I don't think most people would be interested in it anyway, but I highly recommend you do read it, because it actually is really good. It, like, kind of forces this auto dialogue thing on you, and it's always on by default. You can turn it off, right? There's a little setting here, but every time you go back into it, it will, well, if you do the quest, right, it will always have that auto on. So it's just going to skip all the dialogue, which I think is really strange. I would like it that they had an option in the options menu here to turn off the auto quest dialogue skip. I really think that's something they should add in here. Maybe that'll be for a future update, but I am going to give them that feedback. I don't mind them having it. I just think it should be on, there should be a default setting for it instead of it defaulting to on all the time when you want to, like, auto go to your quest location but actually read the quest dialogue. Because, like I said, the story in Cabal is actually very good. I have a whole playthrough of it that I did a couple years ago that people may know about. But yeah, so as we just go through this quest here, you'll kind of see what it looks like. Now, keep in mind, when the game does come out, the warping is not going to be this fast. This is actually a premium item thing that they're giving out during the beta. So if you have premium, your questing will be this fast. And this doesn't bother me, because it's like, all right, you're just leveling faster, whatever. Who really cares, right? In Cabal, leveling is not really, well, it used to be, but nowadays, leveling isn't really all that big of a deal. You can get to max level fairly easily. You can get to level 100, 170 plus fairly quickly in this game nowadays. But it is very jarring, and it is something that I find a little weird that they did. And it makes the game feel... I don't know. I think there's going to be a good amount of complaints about it in the Western community about how the questing is literally just teleporting without ever having to at least have your character walk to where you need to go. Instead, it's literally just teleport to a location, kill monsters, or talk to someone, teleport to another location. You don't really get any sense of anything, and it's so weird. I don't really fully understand what they were going for here. And it's just kind of odd, especially when you consider the fact that, you don't really need to use or I'm sorry, the game doesn't auto upgrade your skills or anything like that. So you won't really get a good sense of like, what your abilities do and how to combo them and everything like that, because the game just kind of does everything for you, and I find that very, very odd. I don't mind the auto combat and the well, not auto combo, but like the auto skills and all that kind of stuff. I don't mind that. It's this constant teleporting that really bothers me, and it feels very jarring and just very strange from a design perspective, and I don't think it's going to go over very well with a lot of the mobile MMO community, especially in the West. I think it's a bad decision. Here's what I think they should do, and I know they probably won't do this, but they should remove the auto warp if you don't have premium, but enable the auto warp if you do. Because then in premium, it's like, okay, well, you can just level really, really fast, get through the leveling content. This is mostly used for characters who want alts or who just want to, breeze through early game as fast as possible, and that's perfectly fine. And the way they have it now is that if you have premium, your warp speed is insanely fast. And if you don't have premium, it takes a little longer, which is, still fine, but you're still warping around. I don't know. I just think it's a very jarring system that bothers me a lot. I know a lot of people are going to complain about the auto combat and stuff like that, but I don't mind that as much as this warping from quest to quest to quest to quest. It's very, very jarring and very intrusive. Okay, so one more thing that I do want to talk about is the cash shop. So they set everything in the cash shop to 1 gem, right? Or what are these called? I think they're called force gems or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But it's the premium currency, right? So they gave us 100 of it for free, and everything costs 1, so we can experiment with everything in the game. And, similar to the PC version, all the standard stuff from the PC version is in here. Your remote shops and stuff like that, extract potions, refillable potions, odd circles, all the same stuff, right? All the same stuff that doesn't really affect the game all that much. Odd circles do, but, whatever, who really cares? Odd circles never really bothered me that much, in the grand scheme of things. So, but something that does bother me is we go into the premium section here. So firstly, we have the premium service, right? This is pretty much the same as it was in PC. XP, skill XP, drop rate, standard stuff, right? This is all very simple. It's just, you pay some money, you're going to get a bunch of really nice quality of life stuff, which is great. That's great. There's nothing game breaking here. But if we then go to the special buffs, now this is apparently something they're introducing just for the mobile version. These I do have a problem with. So these require premium, by the way. So you first have to buy premium. Then you can buy these buffs. And there's 3 of them right now. There's potentially going to be more of them. But you can see, these give you, extra XP, extra skill XP, extra drop rate. Fine. But then they start giving you stats. And, some of them aren't that bad. 300 HP, 60 defense, 25 damage reduction. Who cares? But then you start getting 10% crit damage, ignore pen. Like, what the fuck? That's a little scary, isn't it? And then we go to this one here. More XP, more attack, more skill amp, crit damage, right? And then this one doesn't show you, but I can actually show over here. I go to... Where is it? I think it's in equipment. Yeah. This one here. Accuracy, evasion, attack rate, defense rate, resistances, 15%, 30% resist crit, 12% resist skill. And this is something that you can just buy for extra stats. I don't really understand why this is a thing. This is what bothers me more than anything else right now. Is it going to make a huge difference in the grand scheme of things? I don't know, but it seems already pretty intrusive right now. That's for sure. So we'll see how it plays out, but right now it's a little concerning. And again, I wouldn't mind if it was just soft stats like, 300 HP, 60 defense, drop rate increase, whatever. But we start getting to like skill crit, crit chance, amp, resistances, and stuff starts getting a little sketchy. Just a little bit. They also sell novice gear, which some people were like, oh, it's pay to win, they're selling gear, but this gear is just Shadow Titanium gear as far as I'm aware. It's called light gear, but as you can see, it's +9 Shadow Titanium gear, basically, that lasts for 30 days. And it's pretty much just used for leveling characters. Because it eventually is going to go bad, right? Like, once you get to, like, Osmium, Red Osmium, stuff like that, this is not going to be useful. It's really just for leveling and just to get you started. So, like, I don't really care about this that much, right? But, and we still haven't seen the pet system, mercenaries, we haven't seen force wings, soul ability, all the other stuff that they're going to charge money for. We haven't seen those yet. And we're already seeing them teasing, hey, we're going to give you these things that just give you stats for money. And this is also, by the way, this is not on PC version, someone told me. This is a new thing they're doing just for mobile. Which is not great. This one is okay, like this one I'm okay with. But then you get to, this one with all the resistances and this one with the crit damage increase, penetration and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know what they're doing here. They're also going to have loot boxes. As you can see, they have a drop rate thing there. It doesn't go anywhere yet. So yeah, that's a little concerning, but we'll see how it affects things in the grand scheme of things here. But yeah, so besides those concerns, I'm insanely impressed and I'm insanely excited that this game is as true to Cabal Online on PC as it can be, and I think for a mobile game, it's very exciting to see. I'm hoping that this game gets some traction in the West, especially in the mobile MMO community. I really hope that it does, but I don't think it will, just because it's not being advertised all that well, and a lot of people don't really understand or know what this game is. It's kind of unknown nowadays. Some people might check it out for nostalgia and then instantly uninstall it when they see all the auto combat, auto teleporting stuff. I really highly advise them to at least tone that down a bit. At least the auto teleporting, I think that needs to be turned down. And some of the pay-to-win stuff in the cash shop, most specifically the force cubes, whatever these are called, right? Jewel cubes. But overall, I'm very excited, and I think people should be excited for this. I think it's going to be really refreshing to see, a proper MMO on mobile like this. And I think Cabal works really well for it, especially with how they converted the control scheme to mobile devices. I think it works fantastic. So I'm very excited. And yeah, so that's just kind of my first impressions of the beta right now. I don't know. They don't have a release date yet. But it should be coming out fairly soon, I would think. Some people are speculating probably around September was when the official release will be. So, we'll see. But yeah, so that's my first impressions of Cabal Mobile here.